your fists up. Tip cups to the ceiling if you're sick and feeling ripped off. I let my fist talk, get lit and lift off. Raise your hands if you with me and you pissed off. I'm standing on the corner of 6th Street. I'm running out of time for this week. My head's pounding, stomach shaking. It's worth it, the hunger makes it.
Okami! Yeah, so today on April 20th is when we got Okami. Now, I do have the original one. I'm not going to play the original one, so I find the original one really hard on the eyes. Okami! Takes the bloody things right out of your head. Just the cel-shaded art style that they use in the moving lines didn't translate very well back in the day for like the 480 output that the PlayStation 2 had. I do find it much better on an HD console. It's way better on the PS3, and so far the Switch is looking pretty good too. So, long ago, a tiny hamlet known as Kamiki. Proud and beautiful cherry blossoms, each and every tree around the quiet bird was honored as a god. However, the village was not without its dark secrets. King Ghidorah, to satiate the appetite of King Ghidorah, or Orochi, a fearsome cave-dwelling beast, a young maiden was offered as a sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on necks the size of tree trunks, its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anyone who gazed into them. No one dared disobey the horrific beast. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui. The wolf kept a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village, and made a habit of patrolling the streets at night. People assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shiranui. The Rorinagi attempted many times to challenge the wolf, but his attempts were thwarted by Shiranui's swift movements. Before long, the night of the accursed festival had arrived. A white plume arrow heralded the coming sacrifice. Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk its shaft squarely into the home of Nami, the village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring a secret love for Nami, was enraged by this sign. Determined to put an end to Orochi once and for all, Nagi traveled to the Beast's Cave in place of his beloved. The Moon Cave, a place as dark as evil itself, served as Orochi's home. As Nagi stood bravely before the entrance, a beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson upon 8 thrashing necks. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade valiantly. Nagi sliced well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel. The blade left nary a scratch. At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone brilliantly. Alas, it was Shiranui, the wolf that dwelled outside the village, bearing its fearsome claws. Shiranui leapt forward toward Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying heads, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing in the darkness. Like I said, good story. Mysterious and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shunwi summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flames. As Orochi closed in on Shunwi, its sharpened claws glistening, a gigantic tree suddenly sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shunwi fought gallantly to gain the upper hand. However, Orochi, protected by a mystical power, was not as easily bested. Shunwi, covered in gashes, majestic coat dyed crimson, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike that would be final blow. But Shunwi refused to give in. With its last ounce of strength, the majestic wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead dissipated. The light from above glinted off Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood up proudly to face his adversary. Channeling all his strength into his scarred and battled arms, he fought ferociously toward Orochi, his sword poised high. The golden sword danced in his hands like a puppet on a string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. Orochi's broken body collapsed in a lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that plagued the village was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shunwi had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. Nagi scooped the beast into his arms and returned to Kamiki. When they reached the village, Sanui was no longer moving. The village elder was gently stroking the wolf's head. In response, Shunwi let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, then closed its eyes and drifted off as if in a slumber. Peace had at last returned to Kamiki Village. In honor of Shunwi's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi and placed inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. However, this is not the end of the story. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years had passed since Nagi and Shunwi's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village even took notice. Is this the legendary sword? Is this the Tsukuyomi, the sword that banished the traitor Orochi? Couldn't be. It's just a legend, nothing but a fairy tale. I'm thinking it was good than a fairy tale. He seeks power, he who has broken my mind. Speak the words I wish darkness unto the world. Utter that prayer unto me and unleash my power. He doesn't look so down with that. He kinda knows he fucked up. tragedy suddenly overswept the land. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. The tiny settlement of Kamiki Village enjoyed the protection of a sacred tree. It's here that the real story begins. Look out there in town. Wood Sprite Sakuya. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom. What has transpired to bring about such calamity? We must act quickly, there's no time to lose. My powers diminished over the years. I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much time left in this world. Amaterasu, now is the time. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Yeah, man. Okami Amaterasu. Such divine white light, such beauty and grace. Such a wondrous spectacle. How delightful to see that the Savior whose brave sacrifice sealed away the evil demons so many years ago has not changed one bit. Soon you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. Sniff. Amaterasu? Gaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devious and vicious beasts. They have ravaged our fine and beautiful, bountiful country of Nippon. But never have the circumstances been worse. Please use your powers to banish the evil. Darkness, fine. And punish those who would do us harm. What is this? Has something stolen its way into my robe? Oh, Get out of her cleavage, you little bastard. You again. I'm just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting, that's all. Are you napping in my clothes again, bug? I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I'm a wandering artist. The name's Eason. Wandering artist Eason. That's how great I am, and it won't be long till you are bowing before my great brush. It's good work. What do you think? You be cuter than the real thing? No? Actually, you look kind of familiar. Got it. You look just like that statue of Shiranui. Oh, come on, buddy. Sure, whatever you say, Eason. Yeah, let's get back to the task at hand, shall we? Oh, great God, Amaterasu. I've used all the power I have to protect Kamiki Village. The village lives on. Their spirits lie encased in my fruit. Cut it free, and the village will be reborn. I trust in you. I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to the world. The tree has returned to normal, huh? Well, that Sukuya girl sure said some weird stuff. The villagers' spirits are being haped inside the fruit. That's the fruit that girl said that. If you cut it down, the villagers will be restored. That's awfully high up there. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it.
Be sure to check out the Is That All podcast for all of your geek news. You can find us anywhere you can stream and download podcasts, and find us on social media at Is That All Pod.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me grow and lets me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out there. Be sure to check out more videos, especially more console capers, and you can find me everywhere on social media at Beefy Thiefy.